This week on the Digital Coffee, Instagram are giving Boomerang a well overdue update. Facebook are making some changes to lookalike audiences, and if you're an advertiser, you need to know about this. And you will now be able to send and receive direct messages from Instagram on the web. All that and more after this. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. Are you ready for some news? Let's start with that Boomerang. Boomerang has got a bad rep recently. I think it has been overused. If you're not familiar with this, this is a section in your Instagram stories, which takes a 3-second video clip and loops it back and forward. And some people just get obsessed with this, and every single story element that they put up has been a boomerang. So people have been getting tired of it. And I'm wondering if they've been getting so tired of it that power users have abandoned it, or a lot of people have abandoned it. And that is why we are seeing this week an update to Boomerang. Now, I didn't do a very good Boomerang, but I wanted to test all the new effects. And that's what it is. You now get 4 effects with your Boomerang. The first thing I want to say is, have you always been able to add face filters to your Boomerang? So when I actually went into Boomerang, I could swipe left and get filters. Like there, I'm wearing mascara. I'm not wearing it, it's a filter. And then you create your Boomerang, then you get the object of the chance to edit it down, as you can see. And once you've done that, you can click at the top of the screen. There's like a little boomerang symbol, and you can choose one of these 4 effects. And you know, there's nothing mad or different there. It's just a similar sort of boomerang effect. There's a slow-mo one, there's a double one, there's one that kind of blurs a little bit, but I'm wondering, is this going to actually get more people using Boomerang who may have abandoned it because it was overused? I'd love to know if you try this out. I'd love to see what you come up with. So if you do, tag me at Spiderworking in your story so I can have a look. Instagram are about to let you start sending and receiving messages, direct messages from the web, which we've never had before. When Instagram first came out, it was one of its unique selling points was that it was a mobile only app. You know, we'd walk around with our phones, we'd take photos, we'd put them straight into Instagram, filter them and put them up. And that was the essence of Instagram when it started. After it was bought by Facebook, obviously they saw this as a disadvantage, because for the user, that was fabulous, right? That was great. We could go and take our photos. But for a marketer, that was awkward, particularly for fat-thumbed marketers like me. So they slowly started rolling it out so you could access first photos, then the whole feed, then your whole account on the web. But still you're limited. You weren't able to upload and you weren't allowed to send direct messages. They finally let you send messages and like photos. So those 2 things remained. As you know, if you're a Facebook Business Manager user, you can now actually upload Instagram photos from the web using Instagram Business Manager. And finally, that last barrier, the direct message, is going to happen. Now, you can actually get that linked to your Facebook account, but this is for all users now will be able to send and receive them. I'll show you the tweet that they sent, or was it an Instagram post? We shall surely find out. There you go. It was a tweet where they announced this update, and it is, if you have it, so after you finish watching this show, have a look on your desktop, you'll see there's a little paper aeroplane symbol at the top of the screen, and that's where you'll be able to send and receive direct messages. I think what's important about this is we know there's a trend for the last couple of years towards more direct messaging and less public posting. So obviously Instagram wants to take advantage of that, whether you're on a phone, whether you're on an iPad, or whether you're on the web. So it's going to be handy for marketers. It's going to be handy for people who don't have business accounts linked to their Facebook, that they'll have a place where they can actually do that without having to type a reply with your big fat thumbs. Speaking of my big fat thumbs here. Facebook really is dominating the whole online world. Had you noticed? A report came out, I think in the last week or so, that showed the top downloaded apps in the world for the last quarter of 2019. And let's see, here it is. 4 of the top 5 apps are owned by Facebook. You can see WhatsApp is owning it. The blue line is iPhone, the green line is Android. Totally owning it. WhatsApp owns it. And then we've got at number 3, we've got Facebook Messenger. At number 4, we've got Facebook. And at number 5, we've got Instagram. 4 of the 5 top downloaded apps in the world are owned by Facebook. And just to say, number 2 is TikTok. We'll be talking more about TikTok later on. And you know, I always was a big fan of Facebook. I loved Facebook. I loved the way it could connect me to people around the world. But over the last year or so, it's not just the Cambridge Analytica and the privacy. I've slightly gone off them as a company. You know, I still think Mark Zuckerberg's some sort of hero, but I don't like this world domination. I don't like that it's so hard to escape from these tools. And as marketers, we have to look at that as well, because really when we are marketing ourselves on Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and Messenger, we still are limiting ourselves to one company. Do we need to break outside that? And with some enthusiasm before Christmas, you may remember I talked about the rise of Twitter. Twitter is definitely on the rise. They're introducing features that make it a better network. Young people are using it, but still it didn't come in the top 20 apps. So really interesting to see that that is world domination. How do you feel about Facebook now? Are you gone off it a little bit? Were you ever a big fan like I was? I'm not abandoning it, don't get me wrong. Facebook is great for my business, but I do find it a little bit scary that they have so much domination, not just in America, not just in Ireland, not just in the UK, but worldwide. That's the end of my opinion piece. Instagram recently introduced a policy that would hide images that they thought were false. So these would be overly enhanced or edited images. And I think the reason behind this was because, you know, they have had a lot of problem with mental health issues amongst younger people, and it's something that they're proactively trying to deal with. The problem is this policy seems to be punishing people that are creating art. Let me explain. There was an article in Petapixel this week where somebody who is a photographer was scrolling through his feed and he noticed like where there should be a photograph, there's this big black thing. What happens when you get flagged as being a false image is it's hidden behind a box. People have to click to actually see the image. So it is still there. Also gets removed from hashtag searches and explore feed. So he clicked this image and it wasn't anything dodgy at all. It was what he would have called digital art. It was this beautiful photo, a link to it below, of kind of like a landscape where the background had been coloured psychedelically. So it wasn't enhancing somebody's face or body for an unrealistic view of what a human being is. It was actually, you know, a proper piece of art. So when I looked into what Instagram does to decide whether an image is real or not, you can report an image. So if you see an overly enhanced image, you can report it as being overly enhanced. Then like the machines try and work out, has it been overly enhanced? But then they send it to a human reviewer. So it's at that phase that Instagram really has a problem, because if a human reviewer goes through the rules, yes, that image was massively digitally enhanced. There is no way that it couldn't be massively digitally enhanced, but it was also art. And then we come into the topic of how would we tell a human reviewer what art is? How can they decide what art is? So I think Instagram have a big problem on their hands. It's a shame to see those digital artists getting like placed in that section, particularly if they sell their digital art, because that's really going to have a knock-on effect on their business. It would be interesting to see how Instagram react to that, or will artists just migrate to a different channel? LinkedIn have officially announced some changes to company pages. The downside is we knew about them already. I was all excited when this news came out, and actually it's good that they have made an official announcement, because I guess it's been rolled out to everyone now. So let me talk through what the changes are. Number one is that you are able to invite people you are connected to like your company page, follow your company page. And this feature we talked about on the Digital Coffee recently. It's a really handy feature. I've been using, and some people hate it, some people love it. I've been using it. I've been using it to invite the people I think are relevant out of my connections to follow my page, and I've had a pretty good result there. That's been there for a while. The second feature, and this is the one I got really excited about because I want to do this, right? LinkedIn Live. So live streaming like this broadcast is now enabled for pages. Well, actually it was enabled for pages already. Again, I know there are specific company pages that have access to the LinkedIn Live product. I got excited, went over to LinkedIn to see if I had it. No, you still need to apply, and it's a big process. You apply, and I've never heard anything back every single time I apply, but it's good to know that they are rolling it out more fully. And the third feature they're talking about I don't have yet, which is the ability to toggle between your company page and you when you are interacting in the feed. And this is like Facebook. It's very handy for social media managers who manage various pages, that you'll be able to click and choose how you respond to someone. So good features from LinkedIn. A little bit late them telling us about it. TikTok gets some pretty bad press, including from me. You know, I really enjoy using TikTok. I don't upload anything there. I just enjoy kind of clicking into the feed and watching, and it's very addictive. You tend to end up watching for a very long time. So I do actually enjoy using the social network, but there's a few unusual things that have happened in the channel that we've discussed before on the Digital Coffee. And this week they are addressing one of those issues, and the issue for them is that they need to attract advertisers. It's great that they're getting downloaded by so many people. There's so many users worldwide. As we saw, it's the second most downloaded app in the world for the last quarter of 2019. So it's doing well. But if it's going to succeed, it needs to sell ads. And that's where it's getting a problem. Because I haven't seen any myself, but apparently there are some disturbing videos that will pop up in your feed. And if you're an advertiser, you don't want your ad sitting next to something that people find disturbing. It's not a good look for your brand. So this has been a barrier to people wanting to advertise on TikTok. You know, I know there's a lot of businesses jumping on board now, but it's a barrier to TikTok being able to sustain itself by making money. So what they're going to do is they're going to create a curated feed, which I imagine is curated by human beings, which is a safe space for people to put their ads. Could this encourage brands to advertise there? I actually think yes. I even think, you know, I'm not sure what access small businesses have at the moment, but if your demographic is a younger audience, you'd be dying to make your presence known on TikTok. So I think having a safe space where you can put your presence would actually make a big thing. I want to talk to you about lookalike audiences. If you are not an advertiser on Facebook, the next couple of minutes might not make sense to you, but do stay, because I've got a really cool superpower of the week to share with you. So just bear with me while I talk about this. But if you are a Facebook advertiser, you may not have been aware that lookalike audiences are changing. In fact, it wasn't until I read Charlie Lawrence's article on Social Media Examiner, which I will link to below, that I realised there were going to be changes, because they haven't come into force on any of the accounts that I'm running yet, although Charlie has access to these. So lookalike audiences, if you go into the audience tab on your ads manager and you've got lookalike audiences, you may see that your lookalike audiences are looking a little bit funny and have been paused. Now, there's nothing to worry about there. If you're running ads already, the lookalike audience will still work within those ads. Those ads aren't going to stop. But Facebook are making a change to the way that you create lookalike audiences. They're going to replace your existing ones with these lookalike audiences. And what they're changing is that at the moment, when you create a lookalike audience, you had to choose a country that you wanted to specify the lookalike audience being from. So for example, you could target Ireland and it would just bring a lookalike audience of people in Ireland. The new lookalike audiences will be worldwide. So when you set up a lookalike audience, it'll be a huge group of people from around the world who are similar to the people of your source audience. You will be able to still target by location, but you'll have to do that when you are creating the audience in your ad set, or if you create an audience somewhere else. So it's a massive change, but it's also not a massive change. It's going to be handy because I'd often have to go and create lookalike audiences for 3 or 4 different regions independently, and it makes you have so many audiences in your audience section. You can get confused about what you're finding. So this way, at least it'll only be one audience that I can segment later on when it comes to my ad set level. On the downside, I enjoyed seeing what size lookalike audiences are. In Ireland, I think it's 29,000, and in the United States, it's in its millions. So it's really interesting to see the different sizes of audience by region, and I will miss seeing that. Right. You can switch back on again if you're not interested in Facebook advertising, because I want to talk about a tool that I discovered this week called Yaytext, yaytext.com. And what that does is shows you what it looks like on Facebook. You can actually style your text for your Facebook and all your social updates, without having to wait for Facebook to allow you to put bold in or italics in your updates elsewhere. I know you can do it in groups, but elsewhere. You can do this using Yaytext. Now, I have to say, when you log into the website, when you go to the website, it's very basic looking, and you'll be going, where is Amanda sending me? But all you have to do is there's a sidebar at the left-hand side. You can choose the style of text you want. You type in your text, and then it will style it for you. You can copy it and paste it into an update, and this is what it looks like. So that's yaytext.com, free to use, which is great news, isn't it? And that's all for the Digital Coffee for this week. I will be back here, same bat time, same bat place next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Go and enjoy your coffee, enjoy your Friday.